All right, guys. Hi, this is T from WRSU. We're here at Firefly Music Festival with Josh Legg, also known as Goldroom.
How's it going?
Is this your first time at Firefly?
No, actually, I played here with my full band in 2014, I think. So it's been a few years. It's cool to see the fest grow and change a little bit.
That's awesome. So your set was this morning at 11 o'clock at North Hub Beach Club. How do you think that went?
It was a blast. It's kind of funny playing a set before the festival had even opened.
Mm-hmm.
But Klingande and I got this special sort of opening set at their beach club for all the festival guests that are camping. It was kind of perfect for me because it's like their new beach club, and that's the kind of music that I make, and definitely was my vibe.
Yeah, I was going to say, it fits your vibe very well and went with that. So you recently came out with an EP called Plunge. Do you want to talk about the creative process on that?
Sure. Yeah, I'm starting to reveal a little bit more about what's actually happening, and I'm putting out a lot more music that actually works together. Plunge is a bunch of music that I made between 2017 and 2018. Mostly, I had a really bad neck injury in the summer of 2017. I was playing a festival in Tulum with my band, and I had like a surfing accident, and I broke my neck. It's kind of crazy. But in like the wake of that and all the recovery, like the year of recovery that I had after that, I made all this music. It's kind of a little bit weirder than what I'm used to, a little more psychedelic, a little more, a little slower and a little hazier. And that's what became the body of what Plunge is.
That's really interesting how sometimes like a big action or a big thing in your life can happen and it changes your mindset a little bit and it actually portrayed through your music.
Definitely. I mean, the thing that is sometimes unfortunate I think about electronic music is a lot of people aren't writing from their life or from what's going on with them. Maybe they're just collaborating with other people and they're getting these songs and making them or whatever. But for me, it's always really important to tell my story and to have my music reflect what's going on in my life.
Speaking of your story, how did your musician into electronic, how did that all come about? How did you get into music, find your passion?
I mean, I've been writing songs my whole life. I started playing the cello when I was like, when I was like 8, and I stopped playing it because instead of practicing what I was supposed to do, I would like write my own songs. And so I never got good enough to go anywhere with that, but my parents luckily bought me a guitar. And so I started to learn how to play guitar and I started to write my own songs. I found my way into electronic music kind of like through the side door, which is that just I was recording myself with a computer and I noticed that you could use electronic sounds. So I started to get interested in electronic sounds from production. And so as I did that, it made me like more open to listening to electronic music. So I slowly found my way in that way. And then after I started to release the music, people started to ask me to DJ. And so instead of being like, oh, I want to be a DJ, it was like people were asking me to do it, so I had to figure it out. And then I fell in love with it on my own.
That's really interesting. So with the electronic portion of like your music career, do you actually prefer using like making remixes or starting from scratch, doing a complete original? Oh,
definitely originals. I mean, even today, I still write in the same way that I did when I was like 15, which is, a lot of the time, the first thing that I do is just grab an acoustic guitar, sit down, play some chords, and try and write a song. I think the song is the most important thing. It's how I get most of my expression out. I love remixing stuff, but for the most part, originals are what I work on every day, and I think of myself as a songwriter before anything else.
And I have to ask, Goldroom, it's a very interesting name.
Thanks.
Where did you get it?
Well, maybe thanks, I don't know. Goldroom is a bar in Echo Park, actually in California, in Los Angeles, in Echo Park, and I used to go there. I had this joke with a friend. After we graduated college, we would always go there if we had like big life problems or business decisions we couldn't figure out like what to do or whatever. We'd go to the Goldroom and we'd get wasted, and by the time that we came out, we would always have the answer to our problems. And it was like a really special dive bar to us, like this little mariachi bar. And you could go there and get a shot of tequila and a Tecate for $3. So it was like the best deal in the city.
I need to go there.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore, but it was great while it lasted. And so I had the problem of like what to name my solo project. And so I went there to figure it out. And when I walked out, I was like, you know what? Like, this is it.
Wow, that's a great story. I actually really like that. That's awesome.
It's great, except for the fact that now it's like a super lame, like hipster craft brewery bar.
Right.
And so now people are like, are you talking about that bar in Echo Park? And I'm like, yeah, but it used to be cool.
It was better when
Yeah.
you were there.
Yeah,
I see. Now, for young people coming up trying to pursue the career that you are in, what advice would you give them to get where you are today?
For sure. I mean, I think the biggest piece of advice is to do what I was just talking about, which is to wake up every day and write a new song. I think a lot of artists think that they can like work in Ableton and like learn how to produce, and then once they finish their first song, they're like, cool, I finished a song, I can put it out now. The truth is, like, I make 50 songs a year, and 5 or 10 of them come out every year. So most of the stuff I make is trash. And I've been doing this for a lot of years, you know. And when I started, everything I made was trash. And even now, like, I only feel good about a small amount of it. And I think there's a lot of producers out there and artists that just think like, oh, I'll make a song and then I put it out, and then I make a song and I put it out. And I just think people should take more time to like try a lot of things out and get weirder and see what works, because at least to me, a lot of stuff sounds pretty generic these days. People are following a formula that might work on Spotify, and I think people should be like looking within themselves a little bit more to like do weird, to get a little weirder.
Wow, that's really good advice. All right, this is Goldroom at Firefly Music Festival. Thank you so much. You could explore the rest of the festival. Who else are you excited to see?
So many acts. Yesterday, I mean, a lot of my friends are performing here, so
awesome.
I always want to see my homies play. The Knox played yesterday, and they were great. Bob Moses played yesterday, and they were great. My bassist in Goldroom was playing with AWOL Nation yesterday, and I'd never seen him play before, so it was cool to see that show. Looking forward to Alice in Wonderland tonight. She's a homie.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
yeah, a lot of people.
Lucky you. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Signing out.
This is Goldroom. You're listening to WRSU 88.7 FM.